It's Breezy on Ice Podcast and back with another episode. So, the trade has went down. Kyrie Irving is officially a Dallas Maverick, making the Dallas Mavericks one of the best backcourts in the NBA, with him and Luka Doncic. Remaining to see who's going to be more ball dominant than the other. I believe they take turns in bringing the ball up. But yeah, he's a Dallas Maverick. Dallas did say they was going to do whatever they needed to do to make sure they got Kyrie Irving and get Luka Doncic the help that was needed, and they pulled it off. The Brooklyn Nets, that organization, they turned down some pretty good trades, I would say, in my opinion. They could have sat on it and seen what else and what other offers would have came down the pipeline, but some of the offers that were made, we're gonna start off with the one from the Clippers. They offered Luke Kennard and I think Terrence Mann, and I believe some draft picks for Kyrie Irving. They didn't pull the trade on that one, which it was semi better than what they got from Dallas. And then the overall trade, that was the best trade, I believe. Let me backtrack a little bit. I believe the Lakers also may have offered Russell Westbrook, I think, and some draft picks. I'm not sure who else was included in that draft with Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving. But there's that. But I kind of figured that Russell Westbrook situation or trade wouldn't have happened because Brooklyn would not have wanted to trade Kyrie Irving to the Lakers, being that was one of his preferred destinations, and basically reuniting with LeBron and AD, which would have put the Lakers in a position to make a playoff push, and also not only make a playoff push and maybe get to a 5th or 6th seed, but also being a team that could make some noise as a 5th or 6th seed, and giving one of them higher level seed teams hell. And if it's Sacramento Kings or the Memphis Grizzlies sitting at either 2 or 3, well, preferably, you said they would be 6 seed. 3, if Sacramento or Memphis is at 3, at a 3 seed, that's a team that they can easily compete with and beat with a healthy LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis. That is true story. That is a very much so true story. Right? Now the most or the best trade scenario was what the Phoenix Suns had offered, which was Chris Paul and Jay Crowder, and I believe it may involve some draft picks for Kyrie Irving in return. To me, that was the best trade available. At least you get a floor general and Chris Paul back in return. A guy who is a great point guard, who's going to be a Hall of Fame point guard when he retires. And I know, Chris Paul is not the same Chris Paul, but when productive, Chris Paul can be great. Maybe not so much number-wise all the time, but if you figure you have Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons on that team, and you have, what's his name, coming off the bench. Damn, I just called his name. He used to play for Indiana. T.J. Warren coming off the bench in his role, and say Joe Harris becomes more productive as the season progresses and continues to go on, you would have a chance at still being pretty good in the East with a Chris Paul and a Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is going to space the floor, give you good 3-point shooting, and second, he gives you a defender, an extra defender with Ben Simmons, meaning that they can take turns guarding the best guys on the opposing team. When Ben Simmons is resting, Jay Crowder could be on him, or when Jay Crowder is resting, Ben Simmons could be on him. Or if you're playing a team like Atlanta, you can have your 2 best defenders basically pressuring and ball hawking Trae Young and Dejounte Murray, right? So that would have made more sense for the Brooklyn Nets and continuing what they're doing with Kevin Durant. This trade, Spencer Dinwiddie, I like Spencer Dinwiddie, always did like his game. Um, he's a good player, a good point guard. He's basically coming back to Brooklyn. Finney Smith, he give you some size, a little bit of defense, a little bit of offense. He does a little bit of everything, but nothing too crazy. So now you give up a star player in Kyrie Irving. We know what he can do. He's gonna basically go to Dallas and make Luka Doncic's life easy. And if they play well and mesh well together, forget about it. The West is up for grabs anyway, with the Warriors looking like they're not going to be in the playoffs or going to be in the play-in tournament situation, with, just like the LA Lakers may be in the play-in situation. But the Lakers' chance of making the play-in tournament or becoming a playoff team just got slim to none. I mean, Anthony Davis will have to be healthy. I mean, healthy. And LeBron James is going to be LeBron James. And Russell Westbrook had to be as productive as possible. Right? There's other trade scenarios out there for the Lakers. Maybe you package Russell Westbrook to the Charlotte Hornets, because I hear the Charlotte Hornets had interest in Russ services with LaMelo. With LaMelo Ball constantly being in and out the lineup, you could probably use a veteran guard like Russell Westbrook. And hopefully they get back maybe Kelly Oubre and Terry Rozier in return. That's a trade they could look to exercise. I'm not sure who else is interested in Russell Westbrook. I mean, Russell Westbrook is still a good player, but he has to be the guy that's running the show to be triple-double Russ, I think Washington should have seen what Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal could have been. Maybe took a year experiment of that, but they didn't. For whatever reason, Russ wanted to be in LA, and so that's what happened. He ended up in LA. The Washington Wizards is a pretty good team with Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis, and Bradley Beal. But I want to see how good they can really be. We got to see if Bradley Beal can continue to stay healthy. We know Porzingis got to stay healthy. And we know Kyle Kuzma has to continue to be consistent. And I think that's one of the things that trumps Kyle Kuzma, is that he's not always consistent on a night-in, night-out basis. And he's getting the chance to really prove himself now. It's now or never for Kyle Kuzma to prove whether he can be just a very good player or he can be a star player. So the verdict is out for him, and he has to show what he can do and show his talent. It's up to Kyle Kuzma. Brandon Ingram took his opportunity when he got traded from the Lakers, and he ran with it in New Orleans. And Brandon Ingram showing that, he can play. He got to stay healthy too, but I like Brandon Ingram's game a lot. I think that was the best thing that ever happened to him, was getting traded from LA. I know LA probably wished they would have kept Brandon Ingram or one of them young guys, but they gave up the house for Anthony Davis. I mean, if you think about it, if you're LA, if you could redo that trade, you would try to keep Brandon Ingram with LeBron James and Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. I think Brandon Ingram would have been the perfect fit, to help those guys out, especially with Anthony Davis being in and out the lineup. We know he gets little knick-knack injuries where he has to miss 2 weeks here, a month here, and shit like that. But LA has to see what else is available. The Miles Turner trade is pretty much off the table, because Indiana Pacers said they're going to keep Miles Turner after they agreed to a 2-year extension. I believe it was a 2-year extension. I'm not sure if it's more than that, but they definitely agreed to a multi-year deal. But they can see Buddy Hield is still available. Maybe you could package something to get Buddy Hill that doesn't involve Russell Westbrook. Buddy Hill will bring shooting that they desperately need, and that will help them out. But I believe the winners of this trade here, as far as the Kyrie Irving trade, is the Dallas Mavericks. They definitely won. They won. They stole the show. I don't know what other moves is going to be made. Zach LaVine is supposed to be available. I've heard DeMar DeRozan. Toronto may be looking to make some moves. They got a couple of players that's might be on the move or on the market, or you can call up and ask about. Yeah, but LA has to make a move. LA has to make the move. I believe the Clippers will make a move to get better. And I think if the Clippers would have got Kyrie Irving, it probably would have been a flop for John Wall. A flip for John Wall and some other pieces. No, I'm sorry, it didn't include John Wall. But it would have been a flip of, Man and Kennard and some draft picks. And you think about adding Kyrie Irving to that Clippers team, and then you have Reggie Jackson coming off the bench, and you still have John Wall possibly coming off the bench. I don't know if John Wall would be moved to somewhere else if they didn't got Kyrie Irving in this deal. But the thought of having Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George, that would have made the Clippers the favorite in the West automatically. With those three players together, Clippers would have been the team to beat. And I think his name is Joe Tesla. I don't want to mess up his name. The owner of the Brooklyn Nets, I believe he's the owner, or the GM or something, whatever he is. But he X'd out those LA teams in the deal, and he definitely X'd out the best deal that was out there for his team at that time, which was the Phoenix Suns offer for Kyrie Irving. Dallas said they would do what they had to do, and they did. So now you have Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic in the backcourt in the West that is up for grabs. And Luka's big time, and Kyrie is definitely big time. And when them two get cooking, can you imagine? You have Luka Doncic who can go for 30 plus triple-double, and you got a guy like Kyrie who can give you 25, 26, 30, and be cooking. And you got those two guys cooking in the backcourt at the same time. Dallas is going to be a dangerous team. All they need is production from Christian Woods. If Christian Woods could average somewhere from 15 to 20 a night for Dallas, going forward, the Mavericks will be a dangerous team. The Dallas Mavericks would be a very dangerous team and would be a threat to anybody in that conference. A lot of people say Memphis is good, Sacramento is good. The Phoenix Suns is going to be good once they get Devin Booker back. We don't know what the Warriors is going to look like with, Steph being out again. So Dallas is the team to watch, and I got my eyes on them. I'm going to see how they look. And if Kyrie and Luka Doncic do damage like we know they can do damage, just sit back and watch out. They could be the favorites to come out the West. Denver is a good team too. Denver is a really good team, but with a backcourt like Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, that's easily one of the best backcourts in the NBA right now. I know we talk about Jelante Murray and Trae Young, which is a good backcourt. I believe Damian Lillard and Simons is a very, 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 very decent backcourt. I can't think of no other backcourts right now. Devin Booker and Chris Paul, we know that backcourt is good too. It's just that Chris Paul is beginning to, to age. His age is starting to show. Buddy Hill, surprisingly, believe it or not, Buddy Hill and Tyrese in Indiana, they got a nice backcourt too. they don't get mentioned a lot, but they got a nice backcourt as well. But Luca and Kyrie definitely trump all those backcourts, man. You can't forget about Steph and Clay, but that's not really a backcourt because Clay plays the small forward. You could say, I don't know. Yeah, well, you could say Steph and Clay because I believe Andrew Wiggins played the three. So you could say Steph and Clay is it has always been. They have been the best backcourt for a long time. The two of the greatest shooters in the history of the game is Steph and Clay. That's big time. We know that when they are healthy, them two guys are big time. They're the biggest, of them all. But Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, man. Like I said, I'm going to be looking out for those two. And like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. It's peace and love as always. Breezy on ice.